Hello, hello, welcome. If you are new here, please subscribe, thumb up the video, share everywhere, including your YouTube community tab, please and thank you. And thank you for returning if you are already subscribed. And also thank you to all channel members. I appreciate it. All right, so this is a comment theory, not my theory, a comment theory from the comment section. And normally I just kind of type a response when someone in the comment section presents a theory or their theory. This is more of a suggestion. Instead of me responding with my findings, I decided to make a video as far as a response.
Let's do the damn thing.
And the response is to a commenter named Robert Sanders 1345 1345. I thought it was Dale Cliff Sanders from the show. And my first thought is, okay, y'all, we done made it. It's time to start doing videos with tuxedos and black ties. We done made it. Someone from the actual cast or crew or creator or producer or something has came to the channel. No, Robert Sanders is not affiliated with the show. Not disappointed because everybody is welcome.
Emotional damage.
Robert is commented on the Fate or Free Will video, and he stated, or he commented, "Great video. May I make a suggestion? Perhaps you should lay the side view of Jade's interconnecting strings on top of the map in the sheriff's office and see which points in the crossing strings match up with the stick pins on the map in Boyd's office. Then take the aerial view, bird's eye view of the strings, and also superimpose it over the sheriff's map.
Oh, wow.
You might find some interesting points that match up and overlap. I suspect that you will. I always felt that if you drew a line through just the silver stick pins on the sheriff's map, you can see the symbol. Lastly, if you remember, Jade also mentioned determinism in his conversation with Tom, as well as chaos theory. Yes, he did. And I'm going to be doing a video on Jade and Tom's interaction because in a previous video, I stated that Tom in season 3, when he appeared where Jade was looking at the bottles from the bottle tree, Tom appeared and he was cleaning a mug. Based off that scene, Tom is not real. He's a vision. Somebody pointed out that Tom first appeared in season 2. We're going to look at that in the future video. So for this one, it's putting the strings that Jade had in his hand in season 3 and putting them over the map.
I didn't anticipate it to be this wild, though, by the way.
The editing software that I'm using is Adobe Express. You all might say, well, use this software, use that software. Unfortunately, we're limited in the software that we're going to be using. So I'm not going to be purchasing any more subscriptions for any more software. And I'm not going to be learning any more software. If it doesn't work with Adobe, this is it. I'm just saying. Not trying to disappoint or make anyone upset, but what we find with this is it.
I really respect honesty.
All right. So before moving forward with trying to do that, we have a sponsorship. I like bragging about channel members and supporters. Amanda Kenny 4997. I'm just going to refer to her as Amanda. Every other video, I say her first and last name and the numbers. So Amanda is the #1 supporter, #1 family supporter, and I appreciate it. Being a channel member and donating with super thanks, that is awesome and it's amazing. So yeah, we boldly raise a glass for Amanda, who is the sponsor for today's video. Thank you, Amanda, for your super thanks. Thank you for sponsoring this video. I appreciate it. All right, so fun fact. So there's another commenter named Kenny Gluski. Hopefully I'm not butchering your name. I probably did. If I did, sorry about that. But Kenny commented a day ago that it's funny because all of my videos, I shout out to Amanda Kenny.
All right.
That's her name too. So there's 2 of them running around here. If this is Highlander, that means both of you all have to fight and there can be only one. When I first read this comment, I was like, oh, okay, it's a small world. Unless this is Amanda Kenny coming up under a different account or a troll account and she's testing us. Just a small world. It's a fun fact. I thought it was interesting. So, all right. So back to the video. So this is a map of United States of America that's in the sheriff's station post office that shows a pin where everybody came in from on Fromville. The comment was mentioning just the silver pins, like right here. You can kind of barely see them, but these are supposed to be maybe the symbol. You can barely see them. I tried to enhance the photo. We're going to put the strings over the map and see if it perhaps has the symbol. If it does, that would be an awesome and amazing Easter egg. First, it was side view of Jade's strings. There's the side view. Really, two side views. We're going to do this one first. I got it over the map. Now we're going to remove the background. All right, so this shows just the strings. You can kind of barely see it. Lining them up. And to give a point of reference, I'm going to also bring up the symbol. All right, so here's the symbol. And the reason why I'm using the blood symbol that was on the wall season 2 is because it's easier to see. We'll use this symbol as just a point of reference, and I can always spin it for clarity purposes. So for right now, we'll just kind of have it in the corner. And if it comes down to it and we got to use the symbol that was on the tree when the Civil War soldier was shooting at Jade, we could use that one. Or we could maybe use the one in the book. I got them both on the hard drive. But for right now, we'll just focus on the blood symbol because it's easier to see, kind of go from there. So there's the blood symbol right there in the corner. You can barely see the strings that were on the side view with removing the backgrounds. But lining them up with the silver thumbtacks, they kind of do line up. You can barely see it. Because you got one thumbtack there. Then you got another thumbtack that kind of gets close to the string. And let's see, maybe if I move it down. Because I don't want to lose that thumbtack. But moving it down, the thumbtacks do kind of connect with the strings, or it could be that's what I'm looking for and that's what I'm seeing. But it does seem to be going where a lot of the string is connecting with the thumbtacks, but I think it's because there's so many thumbtacks that putting the string over the map is going to automatically touch at least some of the silver pins, if not all the pins altogether. And again, this was Jay doing it on his own. One theory could be, and this is just a working theory, don't hold me to this, but it could be that Jade subconsciously, the same way he was seeing Christopher from his past and had previous reincarnations within inside of him, maybe he connected all the strings in the gas station / bar. Maybe he connected them all based off of previous points on the map of the United States of America where people had came into Fromville during different reincarnations or different cycles. And maybe that's what made him put the strings in the formation that they were in, such as that the people who were brought into Fromville, they all come in the same way. I just really don't see that for like in the past, because the years in the Lighthouse, and I think they're years, they're death years, and they go all the way back to horse and carriage. It just seems unlikely that he got that from a previous reincarnation, because all of these roads and highways and byways are based off of modern times, unless you could say, well, a trail centuries ago were turned into roads, and that's how the strings that he put in his office go over major roads and highways now, because every reincarnation cycle, people come in from the same road or the same way. And again, don't hold me to that. I'm just kind of like spitballing here, because this is my first time really just thinking about something like this that's been presented by Robert, and just putting a string on top. I mean, I could kind of see the connection, but as far as it being maybe the symbol, I don't know. Just because in the show they've already given the answer that the symbol came from the children, the ghoulish children, the ghastly children, either while they were being sacrificed or before they became sacrificed, that they poured their hope into the roots and the roots created the symbol and the symbol created the faraway tree or faraway trees. Just because they gave that explanation, I really don't see the strings being anything significant on the map. That's one. You all can let me know what you all think. And what I'll do is put the strings on the map, maybe shrinking them down, putting them over the map, and just kind of lining it up the best way I can with at least the silver thumbtacks. Maybe we'll revisit it, but as I'm manipulating the actual strings from the side view, one of the side views, I just really don't see anything. So what I'll do is download this. I've duplicated the page, and now we're going to delete that first overlay. And the reason why I'm duplicating the pages is because you all might say something in the comment section and be like, hey, try this or try that. And we'll still have the different string overlays on top of the Sherriff Station map to revisit in the future. They showed us 3 symbols, but they only really used one of them in the show. So now we're going to try a different side overlay. This is option number 2. And so they also gave us other side view overlays, one that had Boyd and I think Kenny in the shot. I don't want to use those because it's got Boyd and Kenny in it, and that's going to be kind of convoluted with trying to remove the background. All right, so we got that. Now we're going to remove the background. So as you can see with this one, with trying to remove the background, it got kind of the windows caught up in it. So for this one, we really can't do much as far as manipulation because it's got those windows in the way and not just straight strings. It's not really doing anything for us. So I'm going to just delete this overlay, and this is just something we're not going to use.
But that's okay.
So there was 2 aerial shots of the strings, and unfortunately we got Jade in both shots. One where the string is hanging, and then the other one is with him manipulating him and putting them all in the center. So I'm going to show you the one he has it balled up. So the one where he has it all balled up, the bulk of the string in the middle of the map. And I don't think it's going to really give us anything to work with, but yeah, see, with removing Jade and removing the background and keeping the strings, you still kind of have a messed up shot there. And this is just not really something to me that's usable. You really can't do much with it. Him balling it up, I thought it was pertaining to string theory or how the different timelines are converging together, with the lighthouse being where his fists are, like I said in the video that I made that Robert commented on. But the lighthouse being in the center of all timelines would also go with the video that I made as far as a theory that when Tabitha story walked while she was sleeping, she went to not really the physical lighthouse, but she went to maybe a spirit form of the physical lighthouse that she went through in season 2, episode 10. Her going to the spirit form of the lighthouse is how she was able to interact with stuff. And when she physically went there, those things were not there. Tabitha story walked to a lighthouse, or the lighthouse, interacted with the environment. And when she took the book, the finger puppets, and the juggling ball from story walking, it wasn't there when she went there season 2, episode 10, because there's one lighthouse that is in the middle of all timelines. And then each timeline you go to, there's the physical lighthouse that is at that moment. So when she went to the lighthouse season 2, episode 10, she went to the lighthouse at that moment. But while story walking, she went to a spirit form of the lighthouse. When she took objects, it just removed them from one of the timelines that she was already on. And I think that's the reason why when Boyd went to the lair, after Julie threw him the rope, Boyd climbed to the very top and was talking to Martin. When Boyd got the worms from Martin, Martin disappeared, as in he went back into his physical body, if it still existed. If it did exist, it would make sense that the physical body he had, unless we see something different, was the physical body that had kind of like decayed and rotted away that was in the root cellar closet that Fatima was in. I don't know if that really was Martin, but it would make sense if it was him, simply because the corpse had like a beard and had his mouth open, and it would kind of seem that something that was eating him from the inside would cause him, that corpse, to die with the mouth open. You can let me know your thoughts on that. Boyd exited the lair and the lair was gone, because the lair itself, just like the motel, in my opinion, is in like a different plane of existence, and like the lair and the motel are somewhat like spirit form or another higher level of dimension. So when you go there in a story walking form, you're going to a motel that is in the middle of all timelines. When you go to the lair, it's in the middle of all timelines. So that's the reason why Boyd needed the torch and needed to light it to get into the lair, because the lair is not physically there anymore on the current timeline, but the spirit form of the lair is there, which connects all timelines together. It's a stretch. It's a yoga stretch. It sounds crazy, but that would be the only way, in my opinion, how Julie went to the lair while she was story walking and interacted with Boyd from a point in the past. Is if the lair is outside of time and space, the spirit form of the lighthouse is outside of time and space, and then the spirit form of the motel is outside of time and space. But when you go inside time and space, the motel is no longer there. Maybe it was destroyed or something. The lair is no longer there. Maybe it got destroyed due to weatherization in time, or maybe some monster destroyed it, or maybe people destroyed it. That'd be my guess as to how you're able to story walk and go into the lair, story walk and go into the lighthouse. But then when you physically go to those places, you have the lair ruins and you have a lighthouse with no years on the head part of the entryway, and then you only have certain objects there. The spirit form of the lighthouse, and I'll come with a better name in the future if we don't like spirit form. The spirit form or story walking form of the lighthouse have certain toys, certain years, which I think are death years written on the head. And that might have been the reason why when Tabitha was story walking there, it seemed like she was familiar with the lighthouse, because perhaps Julie, Tabitha, Ethan, with Jim, they're able to exist in this lighthouse, this different timeline, like I was saying in a previous video, where they all lived there, and she was remembering stuff from a particular timeline. So more about that in the future, maybe, maybe not. But as far as this, okay, I rambled enough, but as far as this, I really just don't see this as anything to kind of help with theory crafting. But I think it's interesting.
If you haven't done so, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like the stream, fam. That helps with the algo. And welcome.
I'm going to go to, this is the first layer. Let me see if I could try to copy this to the second one. All right, so it worked. So this is this is both set of overlay strings. The one where Jade is holding the balls, his fist together with the strings, and then the other overlay on top of it. And it gets kind of messy. It gets real messy. So I'm going to just delete the overlay with Jade balling them up together. And we're going to use the other one where he's just laying underneath it, because unfortunately, this is the only aerial shot that we have. Robert Sanders was saying Dale 2.0. So Robert Sanders, who's not Cliff Sanders, not related, Dale 2.0. He says, then take the aerial view, bird's eye view of the strings and also superimpose it over the sheriff's map. All right, so this is the next part of the mission. We're going to remove the background. We got to remove the background, y'all. All right, so what remains is is Jade. We'll redo Jade. It won't let me control Z for whatever reason. All right, so we brought Jade back. Oh, got the wrong one. Okay, here we go. We'll have to use our imagination, because we can't like take Jade out of the picture. We'll bring this one to the front. So we'll have to use our imagination. All right, so I mean, maybe this is kind of the symbol. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. I mean, to be honest with you all, I don't really see anything, but it is interesting. It is interesting because I could kind of see, and let me see if I can just erase this background on the symbol to make it easier to juxtapose. Okay, so with removing the background of the wall on the symbol, it does make it easier to kind of like put them all together. Maybe over here. I don't know. I mean, maybe something on the side over here. We may have something there in the corner, like right up in here. I don't know. I think this was an interesting exercise, and it would be great if maybe season 4, the characters on the show do this. But as far as our theory crafting, I got nothing. So what do you all think? And so, thank you to Robert Sanders for giving us this idea as far as a thought exercise to execute and just see where it takes us. Because there's no wrong theory. There's no wrong answers. We're all in this together. All right. We're all in this till 2026. But this was interesting. So I'm going to save this overlay. I'm going to save all this as is in case somebody's like, hey, try this or try that. And if it makes sense to try new stuff, we'll visit it. If not, we'll just kind of leave it here and just have it as something that was just interesting to do. And so this was the first one, the first page. And this one makes a little bit of sense. Maybe, I'll come up with a theory, or maybe one of you all will come with a theory based off what we have in this thing or in this video, as far as putting one of the side strings onto the map in the sheriff station and just kind of connecting the dots. Now, I think if you expand beyond the silver thumbtacks, a lot of the strings do connect with not just the silver, but also connects with all the thumbtacks. There's a lot of connecting going on. So could you see here, there's a little connection. And I think if we were going to come up with an actual bona fide theory that makes sense, it would be that Jade and his reincarnations thought of the idea of keeping track of when people come into Fromville or where they come from, and perhaps they all came in from the same direction. But in my theory, in my opinion, the actual trap of Fromville started like in the 1960s, and that's why we have Colony House and a couple of and the buildings in Fromville that are more aligned with mid-century, to allow people to actually go into the township and build it and then become trapped, versus being trapped back in like American colonialism days. Because if the trap was there during American colonialism days, there wouldn't be a way to actually build the town with neon lights and everything that's modern. Because if you're trapped there and you're stuck there, you're not going to have things like lumber and all the tools necessary to build Colony House, to build the sheriff station, the pool, and all that. So I'm thinking the trap was created, and the original townspeople all come from the 60s or 50s time frame. And they've been in the township longer than that with supernatural stuff and things that are esoteric and things dealing with paganism and all that before the township was created. So I'm thinking that maybe Jade was keeping track of the people who came into the township or that area or the settlement or whatever, and he just kept track of them coming into the settlement because maybe he or someone he knew was finding ways to lure people in to be victims of something. So I don't know. So what do you think? Let me know in the comment section your thoughts. Thumbs up the video, share your social media, subscribe, click the notification bell. Thanks for watching. Go forth, do great things, and I'm out. Peace.